Ms. Lamb, you can call your next witness.
State calls Mathis Wright. Reverend Wright, you'll step towards that witness chair up there, the witness booth, and pause, please, and look back towards me.
Reverend Wright, if you'll receive the oath from Mr. Lamb, please.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in this case will be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, have a seat, sir. What is your name?
Mathis Wright.
And it's Reverend Wright, is it?
Well, yes,
Mr. Wright, Reverend Wright.
Well, I am a reverend.
Okay.
Reverend Wright.
Reverend Wright, at a point in the past, you have also you served as a deputy coroner. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And when was that you were a deputy coroner?
Between January 1st of 2020 through December 31st of 2024.
And why did you leave that role as deputy coroner?
Because the coroner, the new coroner, that was an election, and the new coroner that won didn't retain me as a deputy.
So there was I mean, that's essentially a political position in a way, right? I mean, it's a political appointment. The coroner is an elected position, and deputies are folks who are appointed by whoever the elected coroner is.
That's correct.
And they are free, aren't they, to choose whoever they choose to be their deputies if they have deputies even.
That's correct.
Okay. So who was the coroner that had appointed you as a deputy?
Mr. Clifford Walton.
Okay. And then when Coroner Walton went out of office at the end of December of 24, that's when you left office as well?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. In January of 2024, specifically January 14th of 2024, did you have occasion to address a matter involving the death of a young child by the name of Romeo or J.D. Angelus?
I did.
How did you first become involved in this?
I received the call from the hospital staff that I was needed at the emergency room at Phoebe Sumter in Americas.
When you went to the emergency room, do you know what time you went to the emergency room? I'll ask it that way. Do you approximately what time you went?
I'm not really sure exactly what time it was that I actually arrived there, but I don't recall exactly what time.
Okay. In any event, did you go promptly or shortly after you received the call?
Yes, usually we are instructed to try to, from the time we get the call, to try to be at that destination between 30 minutes to an hour.
So you were there within an hour at least?
Yes, within an hour of the time I got the call.
When you went to the hospital, can you tell me what you did when you first got there? Who did you see? Who did you talk to?
Well, when I own hospitals, when I arrived, when it's a situation like that, when it's someone that have died, and and a law enforcement agent is involved there because they were at the scene. If it's a death where they are not involved, then I speak to the hospital staff first. But if there's a law official there that's involved in the case, I speak to that officer that's in charge first.
And do you recall who you spoke with when you got there?
Yes, Officer Allen.
Did you get any preliminary information from Allen?
Yeah, that be the purpose, is to ask him what we got, what does he perceive that we have.
Did you subsequently talk to anyone else about what had happened?
I did. After I left Officer Allen, I got one of the nurses to show me which room the baby was in. I went in and took a preliminary look and examination of the baby just to see what kind of condition that I could see visually that was wrong with the child. And from that point, I went to the father.
Where was the father at at the hospital?
He was in one of the, I'm gonna say one of the side rooms there that they have outside of the ER. Or family room is what they call it.
Okay. Did you talk to the father there?
I did.
Did you talk to anyone else?
In that room, it was just the father and I think that it was the father and the aunt. And I didn't really talk to the aunt that much. The information I found out about her was she was the one that seen about the baby during the day on a regular occasion. I asked the father about what had happened.
Okay. And when you asked him about what had happened, what did he tell you had happened?
He said that he had arrived sometime the night before, that he had left to go get pizza, and when he left, the baby was doing fine, and when he returned, the baby was in distress, having problems breathing, and he didn't know what had occurred or happened, and that he had brought the baby out to the emergency room.
Did you talk to anyone else about what had happened?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
From there, I went to the other family room where the defendant was, and I talked with her, and in the room, her parents was with her, and I asked her about what had happened during the time, and she said that that the baby was eating potato chips, and and the baby had became distressed and had fallen out of the chair that the baby was in.
Okay.
And then from the earlier conversation, okay,
Let me
I'm
ask you
sorry.
okay. So she said that the baby was in a chair eating chips.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then the baby, you said, became distressed and fell. What did she tell you about the fall? And
Well,
what did she mean became distressed? What did she describe to you?
well, she really didn't actually describe it exactly what were the circumstances around it. And at that point, I didn't really press her to give me any more details about the actual fall.
So when she told you the baby fell out of the chair, what did she say happened, or what did she do at that point once the baby fell?
Well, from the indications was that she really, from the way it was described, it happened really close together, or almost simultaneously. Like when that happened, the father came back almost at the same time. That may have occurred, that she didn't really have much time to actually do much.
So this happened, and then the father who'd gone for pizza or whatever came back sometime shortly after.
That's
the
correct.
fall. Okay. Did you prepare any notes or a report or a memorandum or anything describing what you did, what you observed, who you talked to, and so forth?
I did.
Okay. And as soon as I reach in here and pick up I thought I had a clean copy over there with me, but I don't. I got to get one. Here it is, right here. Get a sticker. I'm going to show you, Reverend Wright, 2 pages that I marked as State's Exhibit 40. Do you recognize those 2 pages that I'm handing to you?
Yes, sir, I do.
What are those?
The one that's in my left hand are my written notes that I did while I was right there at the scene. The one that's in my right hand is the face sheet that I got from the emergency room, and then I added some additional handwritten notes on this document that I have in my right hand after I got back to the office.
Okay. Now, with regard to these notes, let me ask you: do you recall what Julian Williams, the father, what he told you about how he learned of the fall, or how he learned what had happened?
The dad said that when he came in, that the baby was in distress, and that the girlfriend had told him that the child had been eating some chips.
Did he tell you how he learned that the child had fallen?
Yes, that the girlfriend had told him that the baby fell.
What he told you that she had told him, was that any different in any material way from what she told you had happened?
Yes, because if you look at my handwritten notes, it's like in 2 sections.
Okay, I'll hand it back up to you and let you. Your Honor, I'm going to tender State's 40, although I will say at this time that I don't believe that ultimately that it would go out with the jury under continuing witness, but I'm going to tender it so that the witness can refer to it as he's testifying.
Do you have any objection?
Under those conditions, Your Honor, no.
So it'll be tendered, but it will not, because it's a continuing, it's a statement, it won't go out with the jury. Is that
I
correct?
think that's the rule, Your Honor.
All right. I just want to make sure y'all both agreed with that.
Yes, sir.
So it'll be tendered into evidence, but this is a document that will not go out with the jury.
Okay, so, I gave you the notes. So what are you referring to now when you said that if you look at your notes, you could tell me?
In the first part, it starts out by saying history, like in the first paragraph. That's when I did the summary of what Officer Allen said, the father said, and what my initial statement with the girlfriend. And so
So the section that you have that says history, you said it's based on what Alan said, what the father said, and what the girlfriend said.
Correct.
So it's kind of a combination, like an
Right, it's
overview
sort
of
a
everybody?
Yes, a summary of what I had been told.
Okay, all right. And then you have, go on from there, you have some separate notes to what effect?
Correct. And based on what I had been told, I had a second time when it says girlfriend statement. And I had checked the baby, and I had asked the hospital staff, and no one had seen any evidence of chips being eaten. I asked the EMS guy about did they find any chips at the scene, and they said no. So when I asked the girlfriend about there was no chips found with the child or in the child's mouth, then she gave me a different story that something to the fact that the child wasn't eating chips, but the child had fallen. And she also had said, because I put it right here, that the child was not eating or drinking anything. So I went back to Alan and said that I got a conflicting statement about what happened.
Right? And did the girlfriend tell you that she was the one who had told Mr. Williams about the fall?
Correct.
Okay. So she told you that she had told him. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Did anyone indicate to you how long he may have been gone, or how long it was before he got back from the time of the fall, or anything to that effect?
Yes, it was said 5 to 10 minutes from the time he had left to go get pizza to the time that he had came back, and that was what. And the dad said, William said, 10 to 15 minutes that he was gone.
So one of them said that he was gone. Was gone for 5 or 10 minutes, or had been gone for 5 or 10 minutes when the
Right.
fall happened.
Yes, and that the fall had happened between that time.
Okay. So she said that he had been gone for 5 to 10 minutes when the fall occurred.
Correct.
Did you take any steps after receiving information from both of them and the officer and the folks at the hospital as well, did you take any steps with regard to the disposition of the child's body?
Yes, our office took possession of the child's body. I notified the crime lab in Macon, Georgia, about and gave them a summary of what my report was, and if you notice on my handwritten notes, the cause of death at that time was unknown, because just visually looking, you could see the bruises and the swelling some on the body, but you couldn't really determine what was the cause of death. So we set up for an autopsy to be done, and then after that, that's when the cause of death was determined.
Is that customary for someone from the coroner's office to make that decision about whether or not an autopsy is performed and make those arrangements about an autopsy being performed?
Yes, sir.
Nothing further.
Cross-examination.
Reverend Wright, good morning. I'm T. Gamble. I represent Trinity Poague. Are you doing okay today?
Yes, sir, Mr. Gamble.
Thank you. I've got a few questions for you, Reverend Wright, concerning the autopsy, et cetera. Not the autopsy, but the coroner's report, I'm sorry. And you've already testified that you came and got a call because as your duties as the assistant coroner, if the coroner wasn't available, then you'd fill in for him, correct?
Well, not exactly in those words.
How did it work then?
The way it works is that we take a month or a week or a shift. Like my boss would say, I need you to work this week, so that we all would kind of have some off time, that we wouldn't be on call all the time. So this incident happened to occur on one of the weeks I was assigned to work.
Okay, I got you. You're on call like a police officer being called. You're filling in a particular position in time, and that was your time to be. If anything came in, you were the one to handle it.
Yes, sir.
And the purpose of coming as a coroner, you're the first one to come to try to make a determination about first if the individual is indeed dead, correct?
Correct.
And then, if possible, give a cause of death, because, I mean, sometimes it's a routine matter where you come that someone's an elderly person that died or whatnot, and you can make some evaluations based upon what you're told by the hospital staff or the family or something of that nature, correct?
That's correct.
And then when you have situations like this where it's a little more detailed, sometimes you still can make some determination, and other times you're not able to make that determination on your own, correct?
That's correct.
And this was one of those times where you couldn't tell yourself exactly what the cause was, correct?
That's correct.
Now, you did, though, still try to take in some information, determine what's going on, and you made, I guess you made a report of some sort. Is this the normal way you make coroner's reports?
Well, yes, it's my way of doing it. Someone else may do it a little different from the way that I would do it, but I normally start out with the history. They try to find out what has happened before the event occurred, and then do that. Then I will go and do like the follow-up, like it says, where I would take a statement, and then I'll mark it statement. So each one will follow something similar to this, but they may, depending on the circumstance, I may change it somewhat, but basically it's what I have seen and determined at the scene.
But what I'm asking specifically, maybe a little bit more directly, the first page of your report is a Phoebe Sumter Medical Center face sheet that you've kind of written out some information about addresses and things like that, correct?
Yes.
And I mean, that's not a coroner's report sheet or stationery or anything that's on. It's actually from something you just grabbed from Phoebe Sumter and scribbled on, correct?
Well, no, well, we get this all the time. If we go to the hospital, we're gonna ask for this, because sometimes the addresses are wrong, people names are wrong, and if you notice, I put different names, different addresses, because sometimes the people that's involved are not the people that we have to contact to get certain clearance on. In other words, like the girlfriend wasn't the mother, so I needed to find the mother. And if you notice, the notes on this sheet is to find out who the mother was and where she lived, what her phone number was.
Now, the second page of this document is a handwritten report, correct?
Correct.
Is that normally how you would do it, just a handwritten report on a notebook paper?
Yes, this is pretty much the standard that I would do, but like I say, it could change depending on the situation.
What is the exhibit number on this?
40.
Could we pull up, we've got another copy of that, could you pull that up on the screen so I can ask questions about
Yes,
that?
sir, let's take a brief recess so we can get that going.
Okay.
It's early, and I have to have a comfort break, all right? So we're gonna take about 5 or 10 minutes if anybody needs to step in to the restroom. That way they will go ahead and get the computer going before we get back. Sorry, Reverend. Mr. Gamble?
Reverend Wright, I'm not going to ask you any questions really about this first thing that's shown on the screen, but that's the face sheet that we went over a minute ago, what we were talking about, the first sheet of your report, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's the one that you just get some details about and make sure the phone numbers and if the people are wrongfully identified and stuff, you try to make corrections, et cetera, correct?
Correct.
If you could move to that second page, please. Of course, the second page now, that's more or less your coroner report concerning this particular event, correct?
Correct.
And you've been trained before you became the assistant coroner. You had to go to some classes and whatnot to be certified as a coroner, didn't you?
Correct.
And they taught you a lot of things about what to do as a coroner, but one thing they taught you was to make a report that contained all important details, correct?
Correct.
So as much as possible, when you're taking down information, you want to make sure if it's something you feel like may have bearing on this situation, you'll try to put it in the written report, correct?
Correct.
And I understand you're not going to put every single detail of what time you left and when you were there and all that, but the major details are going to be in there, right?
Correct.
And I'm looking at this report on the first paragraph, and you have a heading that says history, if you see that at the first paragraph.
Correct.
And very quickly out there, it tells first that the girlfriend called Dad and said child was acting funny. You see that?
Correct.
And then you said Dad said child had fell face down. You see that?
Correct.
So that was important information to put in the report because at least the initial report from Dad was the child fell face down, correct?
Correct.
And then you go on down and it says, I can't tell you exactly what this word is, so I'm not sure what you're saying. Oh, I think it says bruising face and head, correct?
Correct.
Was that what you observed?
That's what I observed.
Okay. And then it says mother said child was eating chips, correct?
Yep.
But no evidence of chip you put, correct?
Correct.
And then you talk about the child being dressed, etc., correct?
Correct.
Now, nowhere in that paragraph did you say anything about the mother telling you anything about how the child fell, correct?
Correct.
And I mean, that's an important detail, is it not?
Well, for my job, I am there not to determine who did what. I am there to determine what caused the death. And every little detail, like you said, I don't actually write it down like someone like taking what's being said today. When I'm asking questions, I will listen to what's being said, then I make notes. And my earlier testimony was, the first part is a summary of what I had been told. So in this paragraph here is a summary of what 3 people told me. And all I'm doing is getting information to give to the crime lab about what I've been told, what I see, and then that's it. It's not to determine whether she did it, he did it, or anyone did it. I just know that I got a dead child. This is what I'm told, and this is what I see.
But you would agree with me, things like a fall can help you determine what caused an injury, correct?
Well, once I knew it was a fall, like I say, I ain't trying to determine who did it or caused the fall. I'm just trying to determine at that point to tell the crime lab that the baby had a fall. We don't even discuss whether the mother did it or the daddy did it or who did it. I just have to let them know that a fall has occurred. So when they do the autopsy, that's what they start their investigation from.
So whether or not the fall about the mother being saying that's in the written report or not, you still claim that that Trinity told you that. How did you say? You said she claimed he fell out. The child fell out of the chair, but before that you said the child was in distress and fell out of the chair. Correct?
Yep, that's what she said.
And that sounds like a child that's got something already going on and then slumps over and falls out of the chair. Correct?
Correct.
So what she's describing was not, a child fell out of the chair and then all of a sudden is having problems. The
Objection,
child.
Your Honor, that's the question is argument, not a question.
Well, I let him finish the question, but you can't ask him what she meant.
I withdraw the question.
Okay.
Now, going on down, you do note that you talked to the girlfriend and she told you, lady you call the girlfriend being Trinity, correct?
Correct.
And you say down in that part of it that she tells you that the child was not eating the night before and was not really eating that morning either, correct?
Correct.
And when someone says that their child is sitting eating chips and drinking, it could mean that they've got the food prepared for them to do that, but they weren't actually doing much eating, correct?
No, that's not what I was told. Because if you go back to my first paragraph, it's specific. I specifically wrote, mother said child was eating chips. And then if the information that I was retaining, I wouldn't have never probably went back to her a second time. And that's when I asked the question and said to her, but there was no evidence of chips.
Of course, the child had thrown up, had it not?
Well, I didn't go to the scene at the where the incident occurred. I only saw what I saw at the ER, and there was no sign of vomiting. And I did ask the EMS, was there any sign of anything they saw? And it was basically no.
So it's your testimony, you saw no sign of vomiting from any place in any place that you looked at concerning this case, correct?
That's correct.
Not that you looked at all the places, but the places you were at, the ER room, you did not see it, correct?
Correct.
You did not see it when you were talking to Mr. Williams, correct?
Correct. Because he wasn't in the ER room with me.
You didn't see it any other way on the floor or anything, correct?
No.
Now, this report, if you could pull it on up where it moves up a little bit on the screen, please. That's good. No, back right there. When I'm looking at the report, it ends up by saying, but Wright was most noticeable, talking about of some bruising and whatnot.
Right.
Then you have ... there. That indicates to me that there's some more to this report. Is there?
No, that was just my ... that when I'm talking to the crime lab, I may have said something to them when they ask questions, because when you call them, they're gonna ask you a series of questions as well. So in that ... was probably stuff that they were asking me when I was looking at the sheet reporting the death to answer some of the questions that they probably had.
Now, after you did this coroner's report, isn't it true that you were interviewed by WTVM television station?
I don't recall. And the reason is that I got interviewed a lot, but I don't recall this one per se.
Is there any possibility that you told them that looking at trauma, some of it appeared to be, I'm going to say, past history as well as new? Did you tell the TV station that?
I don't recall saying that because I had no evidence to say past, because I was only looking at what I saw there. When I did my own examination, I did look to see if I saw any old bruising, and that was while I had asked the questions earlier about who seen about the child, and but I didn't see any bruising that looked that it was old. So they may have misquoted or misunderstood what I said, but I didn't see any old bruising.
So you don't believe you said that? You don't believe you said that?
No, I don't believe I said it.
That's all the questions I have right now.
All right. Any redirect?
No, sir.
All right.
No, thank you.
May Reverend Mathis be excused.
Your Honor, I would ask he's under my subpoena as well, that he remain. He may have to be recalled.
All right. If you'll, Reverend Mathis, if you'll remain in the witness room in case you're recalled, and don't discuss your testimony with anybody because you're under the rule of sequestration.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.